now we're on our way home via Yosemite. Alright, so this morning we're on our way home. We had a Cliff Bar to start off with, and then I just had made a smoothie earlier before we left, and I just drank all that. So that's it for breakfast. It's half dome.
Just that there are a lot of people around, and I would feel like sort of weird.
This is somebody paddleboarding with two dogs. We have excellent balance. Alright, we are at a gas station slash deli called the Whoa Nelly Deli. Just left Yellowstone and we got our food. Here's mine, just arrived. Got the veggie sandwich with fries. We got, what did you get? Chicken something, chicken Ortega sandwich. I got a Coke, not very good. Been a long time since I had one of those, I probably won't drink much of it. And this is a decent meal, so we're gonna chow down because we hungry. Bye. Look at all those veggies. This sandwich is really, really good, except for the white bread part. It's super yummy. I just got it without mozzarella. Morning. Alright, I look rough. I feel rough. It's the morning after my vacation. Let's get that straight. I have a cat who's very pushy right now, so we may have to have moo time during this. I want to talk a little bit about where I'm at and what happened this weekend. So yesterday was last day of vacation. Ended up having a bunch of snacks in the car as well. Chickpeas, I had those chickpeas I made, and then we had some, hey Moo. Yeah, we need moo time apparently. Let's see, what else do we have? I had an apple. We ended up driving through Yosemite, of course. You saw the videos for that. And I was just feeling like hungry, but it's kind of like that bored hungry, you know, which is mostly why I tried to drive the whole time, which is why I didn't get quite as much video on this trip as I wanted, as I might have gotten on a different trip. But it's actually kind of nice to not be tied to my phone the whole time taking videos of stuff. I just kind of enjoyed and relaxed. I tried not to look at TVs or computers or anything at all because I really wanted to rest my eyes. I've been having some eye strain lately. So that was really good. We had
Very nice, relaxing time. We played a bunch of games. We played Battleship, well, Star Wars Battleship, and I won and he won. We played mini golf. I totally won that. We got a puzzle. Like, you know, it was just like serious vacation stuff, which was very, very needed. I don't remember the last time I had a vacation like that, so it was very good. The food, I was pretty off a lot of the time. Well, I mean, you know, kind of like, let's think about it, like maybe 50% off, um, or less. It's just that, I mean, I ate pretty decent stuff, kind of like okay. So yeah, I guess 50%. Like we went out to that Thai restaurant that was pretty off because it had egg even. I haven't had any non-vegan stuff in a while. And then we ended up going to that restaurant yesterday, which was pretty tasty and everything. I mean, those fries, guys, they were like off the chain. They were so good. Like, well, probably the best fries I've ever had. Maybe it's just because I haven't had fries in a long time, but they were super crispy and wonderful. And then I did not feel very good afterwards. So I was like, oh yeah, this is why I don't eat this way. So that's interesting thing about like motivation is how do you get motivated again? Some people were talking about that in the group, the Facebook group recently. For me, I'm trying to think about what my motivation has been. It's kind of wavered since I started. Like in the beginning, I read the book and I believed all the stuff and I knew it was true. I really felt like it was true, but you really have to have the motivation that's going to be right for you, you know? Like what is your motivation? So in the beginning for me, it was just the health thing. I was like, oh, this is great because I was taking care of my dad at the time who was dying of cancer. I didn't know he was going to die. Of course, you never really know. You sort of hold out hope that, you know, the chemo might work or whatever. And so I didn't quite have this super strong personal experience thing to sort of give me motivation. So what I ended up doing in the very beginning actually was I started watching these vegan videos of like animals in industrial farms and stuff like that. I started watching those videos and honestly, you guys, that was the first thing that motivated me. I think for the first like year and a half, that was, or no, okay, maybe like, yeah, maybe a year or something. That was the first thing that really motivated me to keep doing it, was those pictures in my mind of animals and how they get treated on the farms and stuff. And so it was a straight up vegan, like I could never eat animal products again kind of a thing. And I think a lot of people go through that when they first start. It's like the pink cloud they talk about in like Alcoholics Anonymous rooms and stuff. I have some experience with that with relatives. And so I know that's how I know about that stuff. But like it's this idea of when you first get clean or sober or whatever this new thing is that you're doing, you start a diet, or especially with this nutritarian thing, I see a lot of people when they start up, they're like, this is the answer, this is the best, it's so great, I can totally do this forever, and they do it for like 2 weeks and then they start failing and they're like, what's wrong with me? And I think we're all like that. Like you really you have enough motivation to kind of start you, and then you need to find something else that really is personal for you. So for me, in this beginning, it was the whole vegan thing, which was, it was pretty easy for me to avoid animal products because of that. And then I had to sort of maintain, maintain by continuing to watch videos like that. And then the thing was, my dad died. So watching him go through what he went through, which I think he had this like really terrible cancer, like all cancers are, that ended up making it so he couldn't digest stuff, and like he had such issues with his like colon, and his digestion was so terrible. It was so painful. He was in pain all the time. So many issues, and I just seeing that, I also know that has a lot to do with the way he ate too, because he just ate the cheapest food possible. He was raised poor, and he would always like eat whatever he could find that was super cheap, like bologna, hot dogs, white bread, butter, things like that. That's pretty much all he ate his whole life. And so I'm not super surprised knowing what we know now about disease and why it's caused, blah, blah, blah. So that was then a big motivation for me. It took a little while after he died, because I went off for a while. It took a little while after he died to find my motivation again. But it's kind of always been the health thing since then, which that's why I can kind of like have some animal products and stuff now, because that motivation wears off. And it's not that I don't care about animals. You guys know I'm like obsessed with animals, but it's the same reason why someone can watch any of those videos and still eat meat. It's like disassociation, you know, your cognitive dissonance or whatever. You sort of, you know, it's like that, but it's not strong enough for you or something because you're so far removed from it. So so then it became the health thing, and it was like, all right, I really do care about my health. And at that time that was around the time I was getting married, and I was like, I really do care about my health, and I want to live as long as I can, and I don't want to put my husband through what I just went through with my dad. And so that's kind of been the motivation since, and that's a fairly easy motivation for you when you have something like that, where you see somebody who's so dear to you go through that stuff. And unfortunately, most of us will experience that, you know, with somebody that we love, because almost everybody gets cancer now. This is like so, I mean, I love her, but like, she's a little bit crazy. And this, when she does this thing in my ear, I don't mind this so much, but then she rubs her teeth, like those big scary teeth, all over my ears, and it hurts so bad. I mean, I love her, but okay, anyways, I'm just kidding. It's just this is like a pretty high maintenance at the moment. Not like you guys haven't seen this before. Okay, so having that motivation from a family member that really, I mean, it's been a long time since that's been motivating me, and I feel like that's going to continue to be a motivation. But you have to really find something that really motivates you. Like, I find my husband, he doesn't have as much motivation as I do on this, of course, because, like, I mean, I'm a little crazy motivated on it. But I did watch my dad go through that, and he hasn't, I mean, it wasn't his dad that he saw die. He saw that, but it's different when it's somebody that you personally really care about. And so I think then I was just reading in the, stop. Ow. I was just reading in the group the other day, somebody was saying that their motivation was a diagnosis. And for them it happened to be kidney disease or something, but it was a diagnosis that motivates them. And for me, over the years, I have similar stuff, like the kidney stone thing. That is a huge motivation for me. And those things are so, the feeling is so traumatic, I will never, ever, ever not remember how that feels. It's like so, what's the word? It makes such a big impression on you. And I just, you know, suffering in bed for weeks, like, oh my, it's not something you ever forget. So knowing, like, the, you know, cures for that or whatever, which, you know, you can't have these certain greens, you have to drink a lot of water, blah, 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 like, those kinds of things are such a motivation. And you have to have something like that, I think, to keep going. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, because as I was like sort of waking up this morning thinking about the trip, and, you know, kind of worried last night because I was feeling very cravey. Last night I came home and I didn't unpack anything. I was just like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. And so I had the leftovers of the chocolates. So all the chocolates are gone. I ate most of them on the trip. Then I was still feeling cravey, so I was like, hey, husband, do you want me to make you some dinner? And he was like, yeah. So I made him we had those corn tortillas with some peanut butter and jelly on them. He's like so low maintenance. Like, I could make a corn tortilla and he'd be like, yay, dinner! Which is really nice. But for me, it's like, I use it as an excuse to eat crappy food sometimes, you know? Isn't it funny how we use our partners like that sometimes, or our boyfriends or something, like, don't you want some ice cream? And then you're like, and he's like, do you want some? Well, okay, I guess. I've done that more than once. So anyways, yeah, I mean, you have to find your own motivation. And unfortunately, for most people, it takes a huge traumatic event to create motivation. What else motivates me? So it was the vegan thing at first. and then it was the health thing. And now I just think about so much, like, went to this doctor's appointment and you know, the doctor walks back in the room with your results and you're like, oh God, what are the results? Or like you're having some kind of a pain and he comes back in the room to give you your MRI results or something. And like, I don't ever want to be in a position like that where the doctor's like, you have cancer, or, you know, and so many people die the first time they have a heart attack. They have no symptoms. They have no idea that their heart is full of plaque. Their arteries are full of plaque. They have no idea until they're dead. They still don't know because they're dead. It's the worst thing, I think, to go through life and have no idea. The problem is that I think what's hard about this thing is that when you take a vitamin, or this is why I never took vitamins when I was young, because I cannot stand the idea, like, of paying for something and putting effort into something you don't know if it works or not, right? I hate that. And the idea of eating, like, okay, when this comes up a lot in the groups of the firm and stuff about salt. Do I really have to give up salt? Like, what's the big deal about salt? Or can I have a little bit of animal products? Like, can I just eat this every once in a while or whatever? And the answer is always, you know, from a nutritarian who's been doing it for a long time, it's like, I mean, you can have it now, but you really need to get rid of it. You need to find out the way to get rid of that thing. And as I'm always saying, like, we all have to find our own motivation. We all have to do our own things to figure this thing out. So you may not be ready to give it up now, but you do need to give it up. So it needs to be in your mind. How do you figure out how to give that thing up, whatever it is? Like, I can't live without French fries or something. Okay, well, in a year you'll be able to, but you just have to sort of find the ways that help you get away from that thing. And so, you know, and you guys know my struggles. It's been sweets. It was salts in the beginning, blah, blah, blah. So I had to find ways to get through it. So I would ask you guys, this is kind of all I wanted to say about that. It was just like a big rambly thing, but it was like running through my head. So what is your motivation? What is your main motivation? Is it just health? Is it kind of like this weak thing of like, oh, I just want to be healthy? Because that's hard. That is a hard thing to be your motivation, because it's just like the thing I was saying, like, it's hard to eat healthfully all day long. Okay, wait, we do have something though that does help, and that's weight loss. So when you see the scale move really easily, if you're on track, you're right on plan, and you start losing weight, that's an easy motivation, because it's like, oh, this really does work. And it does work. Like, if you follow it 100%, like, perfectly, oh my God, the weight drops off. We all know that. It just drops off. It's hard to do 100%, but that's, you know, that's the idea. And so that could be motivation. And I think that is most people's beginning motivation, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. For me, it's a little bit harder because I only have like 10 pounds to lose now. So it's like, I don't really need to lose weight, you know, and so the health thing is very good for me to think about now. And then, oh, this is the last thing I want to tell you guys. Okay, wait, so the question is, what is your motivation? How are you staying on this thing? What is the thing that runs through your mind when you want to go off or something, or it's like, how do I keep going? You know, what is your motivation? I was a little worried last night because I was very cravey, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get on this? But I woke up this morning again, like I always do, totally motivated. Like, I'm on this thing, I'm ready. So I need to clean the house. I need to put away my things, do my laundry, get back into real life. And then I'll be able to, you know, but I already have the motivation back for the food part, so that's good. Crap, I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. Okay, I had to go watch the video again because I lost my train of thought. Man, if I just had that all the time so I could go rewind and figure out what I was thinking of before, that'd be so helpful. I have the worst memory. Okay, so the thing I want to talk about was, like, actually where I am right now weight-wise, which is, I don't know. And I want to talk about that because I think it's super important for you to figure out what is a motivational way of weighing yourself or knowing where you're at. Because it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it's a fine line. That's what I'm trying to say. Fine line, because on the one hand, if you're weighing yourself all the time, it can bring you down. Like, if you're not doing so good a couple days or something, it can bring you down. This is so cute. Look, she's just like, if you weigh yourself all the time, it can be an issue. But if you don't weigh yourself enough, it's like you're ignoring what you're doing to yourself, and you're not, like, being realistic about stuff. So there is a fine line there, but I want to say my technique usually is when I go on trips like this, or I go off and I sort of know I'm doing that. And I knew I was doing that this week. Like, clearly I knew exactly what I was doing. And I also knew that it was a short trip. So it was only going to be a few days of that, and I would just have to get my motivation back when I was back. And I think I've been doing it for so long that it's a little easier for me to be motivated. It's kind of just how I am. It's just kind of how I eat now. And this is, I just go to the store, I buy all the vegetables, I make the things, and I eat the things. I no longer have to think of my untimely, painful death to keep going. Now it's become such a pattern in my life that this is how I am. I can't even imagine going to the store and buying some chicken. Are you kidding me? Like, what? I can't even imagine going to the store and buying some eggs. Even though I ate some eggs, that was just easy. That was convenient. And it's in my favorite dish, pad thai. And I just was like, I'm not going to not ask for it this time. I'm just going to have them. It was weird to have them. I didn't, it was kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. But I liked it, and I chose it, and that was it. But now that I'm home, there's no way I'm going to go buy some eggs. Are you kidding me? Like, it's not even in the pattern of things that I do. That's important too, I think, is doing it so much. And that's why I think the 10 and 20 detox program that I did helped. And by the way, if you're new to these videos, that detox program, you can find my whole vlog series for that on my YouTube channel. It's a meal plan where it just tells you exactly what to eat for 20 days, and you can lose 10 pounds or more doing it. And it's true, you actually do. And I was very successful with it, and it really got me through and taught me how to eat like a nutritarian. So once you get in these patterns and you keep doing the challenge, you keep doing the detox thing, you keep repeating these things over and over again, suddenly it becomes more a part of your life than not being like that, Being a nutritarian becomes more the majority of your life than not being a nutritarian. And then it's just like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I always do. I go to the store, I go to the produce aisle, I buy all the things that look good. I go to the bean section, I buy some beans. I may go to the dairy section and buy some soy milk or almond milk because I'm lazy right now. I mean, I make my own almond milk sometimes or whatever, but sometimes I don't. And I don't stress about that, Whatever keeps me on the plan is good enough. And we all do the things that I have a cat hair in my mouth. Oh, well, that's not surprising. We all do the things that keep us on, just keep us on the path of least resistance. So then I go to the checkout aisle, and I just don't even go down the other aisles anymore. I just don't. I don't even use those sections of the grocery store at all. I leave. I'm done. And I always try to make sure that I'm not hungry before I go to the grocery store or I go to a restaurant or whatever it is. Like, I've been using these techniques and these tricks for so long that this is now just how my life is. And so I am more, I'm more nutritarian than I've ever been anything else in my life, Like, it's just a no-brainer now. So that motivation is not difficult because I come home and I'm about to dump out all the stuff that, like, I'm going to clear out all the food stuff we had. So I have these leftover rice crackers, which are not bad food for you, but they have salt. I think they use oil too. I'm not sure, but it's just processed food. I'm going to throw that out. Anything else that's bad that I have that, isn't really nutritarian, is just snacky or whatever, I'm throwing it all out. I'm getting rid of all of it. Right before I left, I threw a bunch of stuff from my fridge into the freezer. So, like, I have a whole pear in there. I have some beets that I made the other day, or like last week or something. I just threw everything in the freezer so I could just bring it out and use it later. So I'm going to bring that stuff out so it can thaw and I can use it again. And yeah, I'm just going to resume normal business because it's easier to do that at my house because my house doesn't have any, like, crap in it, I'm set up to be a nutritarian. And so if you make those changes and you set yourself up that way, then you will succeed. So as far as weighing myself, I know personally that when I weigh myself and I'm like, I know I gained a little weight. I know that. I also know I had a ton of salt. So I know getting on the scale right now is going to be so counterproductive. There's no way I'm getting on the scale right now. Are you kidding me? I know it's going to take me at least, and I know from patterns, like from weighing myself in the past, it's going to take me about 4 or 5 days to get through everything that I had over the weekend. to have this the salt re-regulate itself and whatever. I would not weigh myself for another 4 or 5 days. However, now I have a really, really good idea of exactly how my clothes fit at different weights, because I've been fluctuating in this 5-pound range for like the last several months. So I know exactly how these clothes fit when I weigh certain things. So I don't even need to weigh myself right now, because I know if I put these one particular shorts on or these jeans on or whatever and they fit a little tight, you need to like lose a little bit, you know? So I don't even think I'm going to weigh myself because I don't want to be disappointed. And the other thing is, like, I've said this in a video before, and I'm going to stop rambling in a second. Don't worry, guys. When you, like, what I do, my technique is when I'm weighing myself and I know what the weight is, I always write it on my mirror in a dry erase marker. So the last weight that I have on my mirror is 119. I know I don't weigh 119 right now. There's no way. But I'm leaving that there, and I'm going to just not weigh myself until I'm kind of near that again to soften the blow for myself. And that's how I do it. I always, like, because I know how my clothes fit when I'm that weight. And I know how my clothes fit when I'm 123 or 125 or 128. I know how they fit. So if they fit that certain way right now, I'll know where I'm at, and I'm not going to, like, make myself feel bad by looking at the number. I'm just going to keep 119 in my head and be like, hey, this is my new where I'm at, and I just have to get there again real quick before I can weigh myself again. I always do this just to make my feelings like not so hurt. And you have to take care of yourself when you're dieting like this, because we're very sensitive about this stuff, and we don't want to, have like a crappy 4 days because I just went on vacation. Like, I don't want to feel bad about myself. I made those choices. I did that on purpose. I had that food. I enjoyed that food. I really loved having that food. Yesterday, those fries were so good. But you guys, I don't even remember the last time I had fries. I'm not mad about it. Like, I don't feel bad about that. I would feel bad if I got on the scale right now, but I'm not going to do that to myself. I know where I'm at, and I know it only takes a few more days to get back to where I was. This cat is so cute. Oh my god, you guys. Look at, like, she's just like okay. So I had a lot of things in my head that I wanted to get out, so that's why this is such a long video. But I didn't really talk to you guys for a while, and I'm glad to be back. So you can expect normal videos and stuff going on now, and let me know what your guys' motivation down in the comments is, and has it changed over the years? Are you a new nutritarian? Are you on the pink cloud right now where you're all excited, or where are you? So let me know what you think, and it's just nice to be back. So hey guys, I'll see you later. Bye.